Third line, third line, third line.
Okay, I am Leah, and I'm going to hold down the tarot part of this. Oh, for the mystical Riff by the river with Leah and
Nameh.
yeah.
I've got the human design side, and here we go.
Here we go, and I'm using the Radiant Wilds deck. So I'm just going to shuffle and clear for a moment. And here we go.
Here we go.
Number 3s.
Third lines.
Bloop. King of Pentacles.
Okay.
All right. So I'll talk a little bit about it and then we'll riff off of each other after Nam's pulls. So kings in the court, in the suite of court cards from page to king. Kings are the most mature. They, there are decks that have been updated that don't use this sort of aristocratic, super gender binary system. So if you want to just forget the king part of it and the sort of male associations, you are welcome to. But kings are known in the tarot as leaders, they're experienced, they're elders, they've seen shit, they've done shit, and they're now at a point where they are able to pass on their legacy. And Pentacles, that's earth, that is home, hearth, health, it is material wealth, it is the physical things, the tangible things in the world that we can feel, that we can hold, that provide security or not for feeling lacking. So the King of Pentacles altogether is, it is stability, it is an ability to, it is enough stability to be able to pass that on and pass the wisdom to others on that allows them to experience stability. It's enough abundance to be able to share the wisdom of abundance with others and pass that legacy on. So I'm gonna pause there.
Well, and I think what's so amazing about this is, okay, so we're both 3-5 profiles. And so the 3 in your profile is referring to how we're experimenters, how we like to try things on, how we've face planted, stood back up, and figured out what we learned through that process. And so a third line could be afraid of trying again because it sometimes hurts to scuff the knee or to bump into the thing and learn and have the trajectory of recovering or being in that place of resiliency. So how I'm hearing the King of Pentacles is that maturity or that end spot of sorts of like, oh, I've learned, I've hit the ceiling of what I can from this situation and I'm ready for the next step.
Yes,
Yeah?
and trusting. I hear in that too, just like the trusting oneself. Whenever someone I'm giving a reading to pulls a king, I always want to be like, you are a leader, you know, you are a leader in this. I know it's hard to feel that sometimes and to trust that you are a leader in this thing. But yeah, trust your experience, trust that those bumps, those falls, and those getting back ups were all part of your journey towards maturity in this particular realm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and part of what makes a third line resilient or makes a third line attractive for other people to learn from or to hear and be in experiential conversations about is because we have this wealth of experience as third lines of like, oh my gosh, I totally did that. And here's what I learned about it. And yeah, it's, awkward or whatever the experience is. And I'm so grateful because had I not face planted, I wouldn't have, found the great solve for my nose that got bloody, like whatever the thing
I
was.
love that.
They can be very entrepreneurial. They can, because there's that willingness to jump in and figure it out. I feel very DIY. Like, you should see our setup. But that willingness of like, oh, I forgot this. Oh, no problem. Let's use that instead.
Oh yeah.
Right?
So that sort of flexibility, that sort of MacGyver
Yeah.
quality.
Yeah.
And also, it was just making me think of, the wisdom of failure.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and how a wise elder can help others understand the wisdom of failure, because it can feel so hard to fail.
Yeah.
It can feel so hard to scrape your knee or to face plant.
Yeah.
And yet there is so much wisdom. And over time, that becomes wisdom that can be passed on.
And so are you saying that the king is the leader, the wisdom keeper? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And also, am I correct that pentacles are more thought of like in the mundane level of like, what's my bank account? You know, that kind of.
Yes. That's where I like, classically, some people tend to think of pentacles as finances and keep it in that realm. But it has kind of been updating and evolving, at least collectively, over time. And so now it's like finances, but also, as I like to say, it's home, it's hearth, it's health. So it's like your physical body and your physical well-being. And it's also your home and your stability of home and security. It's also your garden or the land around you. It's what you can touch and feel and what provides security. Or in moments sometimes where you're feeling lack, what is feeling like you is not providing you security. So Pentacles is that exploration of the material world. Yeah.
And from Brenya Magnuson's deck, we're getting a repeater.
Whoa.
Yeah. So we're getting the gate 3, difficulty in the beginning. So that's individual circuitry, and it's located in the sacral. And what Brenya is doing in this deck is she's weaving in or bringing to each of the gates an animal energy. And so this animal energy is the wolf. And the phrasing or what she's offering here is the teacher. She's bringing in Gene Key's trajectory, the 3 places that Gene Key offers and how to speak to the I Ching 3. Gate 3, difficulty at the beginning. So, yeah, I'm curious because we had this come up with the first line earlier when we were doing that for this month of July reading. And I'm curious how you might weave this individual mutative, am I in the pupa stage or am I in the butterfly stage of transmuting a situation?
Well, I was thinking it was a little different than the pupa and transformation thing where my brain was going, but then we can circle back to the pupa part. But I was thinking about the difficulty at the beginning in those moments of maybe mess or chaos or challenge, being part of the face planting, the trial and error, and that learning process. And that sort of messy, awkward learning that allows you to be the teacher, ultimately. Yeah. So that's where my brain goes. But I want to hear about the pupa part of it too.
Well,
if you want.
Yeah, no, I'm tuning into it. So I guess when I think about maturity, it's that elder or that, it doesn't have to be elder necessarily in age, but elder in experience or elder in willingness to be in different segments of life or different segments of a process, a maturation process. And so to me, this idea of the king is that sense of self-trust of we've been there, and that attuning to who somebody is in their process, to track, am I in the pupa stage or am I at the butterfly stage?
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. And it feels like in this, with the King of Pentacles, with the teacher, associated with the, the third, what'd you call this? The third gate? Gate 3?
Gate 3.
Gate 3. There's the, maybe I'm just reiterating what I already said, and this is something we can cut, but I'm just thinking again of like, it's messy, and there is a self-trust required that can be learned over time, that it's okay that it's messy, and our elders can help us with that. Because I do think developmentally, we learn that it's okay to fail. We learn that it's okay to make mistakes. Hopefully, sometimes it takes longer for other folks, depending on their upbringing and things like that. But but that maturity of knowing that failure and mistakes and mess are a part of it, and turning to our elders and learning from them in that way,
Right.
and trusting that just because the process is a little messy or different than we expected, which we mentioned before in the one line, it doesn't mean you're not growing and learning.
Yeah.
And trusting that it is part of the process.
Well, and as you were speaking in that riff there, I was feeling like a grandparent. You know, like the grandparent who's like, oh my gosh, no problem. Spilt that milk? Great. You want to add your strawberries to that milk and just la 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 fingerprint with it? Right? Like, there have been those elders in my life who are very much like, pull up the sleeves, let's get in there. Because third lines are very much like, I got to try it on. I got to get my hands in the soil. I don't want to just hear how somebody else is describing it. I want to have the experience of knowing for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm pulling a new deck in our offerings here of support, and this is Denise Lynn's Sacred Forest. And this is so third line. So third lines are considered to be very playful. That kind of exuberance to like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what happens. You know, kind of F it.
Like we're doing right now.
And so the card that, and I've never pulled this in her deck, it's the Elves and playfulness. So maybe the invitation for you is, given everything that we've talked about, how is it that you might want to feel into more of that playful part in you? Yeah.
I love that. And I feel like the playfulness too is connected to that, to the mess, to the falling down. Because if you think about like kids in play, they're learning. That's like, that's how kids learn, is through play.
Yeah.
And they scrape their knees and they have to go through these things that are hard within the play. But the play is part of the growth, is part of the movement. It's not just a side note.
Yeah.
It's key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, what's here for me is also the detail that we've kind of been hinting towards is, who are the elders? I almost had the song, Who Are the People in Your Neighborhood? But who are the people in your neighborhood? It was a Sesame Street song.
Cute. Winnie the Pooh, Sesame Street. It's all here today.
But almost maybe the like reclaiming that playfulness for yourself. Like, say you were in an environment in an early time, you know, for whatever reason the people around you didn't have the capacity to support you fully playing. And you can give that to yourself now.
Yes.
Like,
I love that.
Y'all, I'm 53, and sometimes I look at my outfits and I feel like a 10-year-old, and I'm like, I'm enjoying myself. Maybe the world thinks I'm a weirdo. If I can't give myself the permission to be exactly who I am, who else, you know, do I need it from? So
53. Damn, you look good.
wasn't going for that.
And your outfits.
Oh, thanks.
But it makes me also think about King of Pentacles. Because one of the, you know, with tarot, you can kind of have the shadow side of a card, or the more exalted, balanced side of a card. And a shadow side of the King of Pentacles that can happen is too much seriousness. And so the playfulness feels also like it's kind of, it's sliding in to be like, don't forget, like, you got to also play too. You can't just like be organizing all the time and planning all the time. Like, there is a balance that is being invited as well. So I'm glad you pulled the playfulness.
And the gate 3 is willing to go through the mess so it can bring order, so it can bring the new pattern into formation. Because gate 3 in DNA, or gate 3 is found in every being. So every essence, you know, a fly. Anyway, I'm not going to give the whole list because my brain isn't working right now for that. But gate 3 is present in everything we see in physical form. So the animal, the human, etc. So, and the reason for that, changing the DNA, there needs to be a new offer of how that looks. And eventually order needs to happen. But what I'm hearing you say in having that caution for the real, you know, button tie and like, you know, real stiff, composured presentation is, yeah, but can we get messy too? Like,
Yes.
can we just not worry about all the details, crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's?
And trust that there is order in the chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.